This Sweet 16 Thursday Picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Get up to $750 in cashback rewards each month when you sign up at edgeboost.bet and use the promo code SGPN.
Hey, everybody. Joe Theismann here. You're listening to SGPN. So do this. Let it ride.
Cox. Hold on.
Welcome, everyone, to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Special shout out to the first half overtakers.
Oh, yes. We're back from Vegas. We survived. We advanced. Joining us on the line here from the college experience, Colby Dant, aka Pig Dundee. Colby, where are you at? There he is. Oh. Colby, did you? I haven't really talked to you since we were last hanging out. I think it was Friday night after the VSiN show. Went out, had some cocktails. We went up to Legacy Club over at Circa, that awesome rooftop bar. Check that out. And then we were down at Vegas Vicky's, which is also underrated bar. I think it's pretty cool. It's like right there in the middle of Circa. Great late night people watching. Just post up in the bar there. A bunch of characters. But what did you make it back to your? You made your flight okay? Flying solo, everything. You got back to the Carolinas, all right, Colby?
I did, and thank you. It was a great time, and no, I did save someone's life at that. I didn't know the name of that bar. It was Vegas Vicky's bar, but
yeah.
Remember one of Bet Detective's friends?
Yes.
I
nice
saved.
Job. We've hung out with him. I don't know if he wants his name on air, but shout out to him. Good dude. We were hanging out with him a bunch. He was an Illinois fan, so he was celebrating a little extra. And I don't know what happened, but
real mush.
Oh no, what do you mean?
Oh, he celebrated too hard. His team lost. They shot 22% or whatever.
That's true. But at the time, he was living it up, enjoying a win. And I look over. I mean, in defense, it was probably like 3:00 in the morning, and he's passed out, but he's still holding the drink. And I'm immediately I go, okay, well, we're hanging out at Derek's bar. I don't want this guy passing out and shattering this glass on the floor. So I try and grab it from his hand to put it on the bar. And the dude would not, it was like he was like locked in and he would not give up the drink. And I'm like, I had to like really step into it a little bit. I got his drink out of his hand. And then I think Colby may have helped him find a cab. I was just like, we can't spill the drink. And he's a Vegas local, so I would assume he knew how to get back. But Colby, what happened?
Well, I caught him from eating a pile of shit because of
really?
He had I think you had already gotten the cocktail out of his hand, but then he was standing up where he just decided to pull the old lawn chair quarterback and just fall over. And he just went to fall over, and I just quickly caught him before he hit the ground, and
great hands, great awareness.
That's what they say, great awareness even when you're 17 Jaeger bombs deep. So but dude, that was a great time. It was great seeing you guys, and
it was awesome. It was awesome. I mean, not only it was good to hang out with Colby, Bet Detective, Scotty Reichel, Adam Rosenberg, the crew, Avetta, always great seeing her. I see Cody in the chat. There were a ton of listeners, SGPN guys.
Massive turnout on Wednesday.
Yeah, no, and shout out again, coming back to the rhythm party. That was
I'm
great.
sure we half-assed the conversation on Thursday night because we were just fucking hungry and tired.
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, Thursday's episode probably not not our greatest episode because we had just been drinking for 12 hours, starving. Had to crank out an episode. I did go 3-0 on my lock, so hopefully you tuned into it. The episode wasn't our best, but I think
next year we may fully commit to not doing episodes.
Well,
these days.
The Mac and Colby can
We'll give them
that.
the keys.
Yeah, just put their episode out on our feed. But yeah, getting back to the Rhythm Party, that was awesome. Obviously, big thanks to Rhythm, big thanks to everyone who came out. And it was awesome. Like the party basically ended Xavier Texas game. We all had Xavier laying the points, and Xavier had that crazy comeback. That was a great sweat. And
couldn't have planned that. I mean, as far as if you're hosting an event, you have this.
Well, and it's a gambling event.
Complete dull, like first game and a half, game in three quarters, and then everyone's on the side that makes the miraculous comeback and takes care of business. Come on.
No, it was awesome. And it was great to hang out in person with all the Rhythm people. They were really cool. Great product again. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today. And somewhat, we have this $250 future to give away. I was planning on announcing it at the party. And I even said to Rosenberg, like, oh, we should do it now. Doing Vegas math. I'm like, hey, if we don't do this now, we're just not going to happen.
Can't defer anything in Vegas.
It got lost in the shuffle, but we do have it right here. And breaking news.
That's unlike you, Sean.
What do you mean? Well, I need
to not like master.
Well,
when's the last time you forgot a task?
I didn't forget it. The plan was we were going to do it at the party. Then it just kept getting like, oh, we'll do it tomorrow at this thing. It kept getting rescheduled. But
that's what I mean. That's very unlike you.
Well,
Deferral of activity.
I was trying to be a
Why
team
wouldn't
player.
I do it right now?
Well, again, if you don't do it right now, then a lot of times you don't end up doing it. Great example. The winner of the $250 future. Shout out to Trey Cranston. Cranston. Hopefully you're listening. I'll drop you an email.
Sup, Trey?
If you don't respond back with the email, I'm keeping the $250. Trey Cranston, let me know what you want for your $250 future. Again, courtesy of Rhythm, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Ryan.
Yes.
Well, you started the show by saying first half overs. You were calling out the haters. Let's go back because it was a really good March Madness for the March Madness command.
Starts through the first four.
Yeah.
We have a historic
0-4.
Historic first four. First time in history that we've had all four first half overs in the game. First time in history we've had all four first or full game overs. So historic start to the tournament against us. People are chirping out of the woodwork. Oh, it's dead. The trend's over. Just take the overs. Hashtag first.
And they all
overs.
apologized when they came back on Friday, right?
No, the story's going slower than that.
Oh, okay.
So then we get the entire as I'm sure everyone knows, I post the records in real time. Shout out to the first half under tracker. It's been going on for almost 10 years on the internet, Sean.
Yeah.
And this guy just starts replying with the opposite of my record.
Oh, wow.
With this is the first half over record. And I remember going to sleep and seeing him posting his first half overs 11-9 record.
Wow.
Going into Friday thinking it'd be awesome if they go on a heater.
And they did.
Stuff this guy in a fucking locker. And they went on to go 13-2-1. I know some people ended up 13-3. That's the other thing. These motherfuckers. And whenever someone gets a bad number and loses, they got to come out and question the integrity of the trend. Fuck you. Been tracking this here. Look at this beautiful. Sorry, Colby. But look at this. Got the data. Like this is.
Someone said we need to put the win loss and push percentage on the back of the t-shirts. Now, Ryan, are we in trouble? Because 62.8%, I'm noticing anytime it's usually 60%, they give it, or 60% plus, they kind of give it back a little bit the next year.
That is wild that it was the same record of 2016. I think that's what you're relating to there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just in general, what sticks out? Well, it's 10-4-1 all time.
Yeah. So wait, that's the first half unders records in the
By year.
14 of whether it was profitable or not.
Yeah, because it's a one bet.
Again, probably don't do a full unit on it, but again, if you did,
or do a full unit,
you'd be up what 57.6%. You'd be all right.
And shout out to the folks who parlayed the little chase in day 2. If I saw some people cobbled together some 8-teamer as well. I also saw that. I mean, if you just simply took the last 7, they hit. So it was a good
Heater engaged.
It was a great comeback story because there are a lot of people. What's that meme where the African fellas are dancing with the tombstone or with the coffin? I mean that's what they were getting ready to pull that out. And what did we do? We had, and we pull it back up. But was that? I mean, it wasn't. Was it a top 5 year? It was a top 5 year. So that top 5 year, tied for 4th with 2016 in terms of best years ever. Of course, 2021 we will never forget. But
no, that's insane.
But yeah, also beautiful spreadsheet.
Great work on the spreadsheet, and of course, hop in on the Patreon. Check out the spreadsheet. And Colby was in studio last week, and we knocked out a bonus March Madness stories episode from discussing Vegas stories over the years. Colby's alter ego, which is what is it, Nick Velvet? Colby,
Nick Velvet. If you've seen him out there, you've had a good time.
Should I pull up the image that Colby sent to us?
Yes.
For the thumbnail?
It's a good tease.
Let me just find it real quick.
If you didn't check out the Patreon episode already, you're missing out because it was a bunch of just great stories in general, talking about stuff we've got into over the years in Vegas, and just good times, man. And then another good run. No regret. I'm trying to think of stuff I wish I would have done. Maybe played a little bit more of that Sigma Derby. That's always fun. We did have a nice little craps heater. I think that was Wednesday night.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest regret was not. Those guys seem to have a nice craps heater that we missed out on.
Yeah, shout out to the Venezia crew. I wish I would have hung with them more, had more energy on Thursday night, or whatever night they went on their
They
epic
killed it.
run.
Yeah, they killed it.
I wish I would have been at that table. That's my only regret.
It was by all accounts, it was a 30-minute banger.
It's crazy.
I mean, all right, I actually, you know what? We'll just knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. Oh, I know what I got. I got sidetracked. I'm sorry. I ran into a pretty hilarious picture. But yeah, no, Patreon. That's what we were talking about. That's what I was supposed to be searching for. I'll just show the thumbnail since it's here already. Because Colby, I mean,
look at that right there. Look at that right there.
And Colby tells the story of that photo. If you're not watching live, youtube.com/sportsgimmo podcast.
Describe it, Sean. Try to describe it.
It's if you met a white LL Cool J in a dive bar, that's what Colby looks like. He's got the bucket hat.
Jamiroquai and LL Cool J had a baby.
And it was completely white. Very a great backstory on how he got the hat and the shades and the whole nine. So it looks like AI. I mean,
and shout out to Jake. But Colby has been touting himself the slide master.
Yes,
we caught some footage of Colby back making the slides here. There it is.
The puppy little alligator over here, little turtle, little turpin. So good.
Dude, but the best part about this is Bob Ross was a fucking pimp.
Oh, fucking Jake.
That shit.
Yeah, I mean the open shirt and gold chain that was not Jake's photoshopping. That was already on.
No,
Bob Ross.
I gotta show the original picture because my first thought when this picture came up was Bob Ross fucked.
Yeah.
Definitely. Look at this guy. I mean, it was like the 70s, right? Oh, that's so funny when the face swap.
Wait, go back and forth.
Oh, that's too funny.
That is awesome.
All right. But yeah.
Vegas
Slide
trip,
master.
Awesome. Again, congrats, Trey Krantz's $250 future, courtesy of our buddies over at Rhythm.
Hold on. Did you? I wanted to add. Did because I was trying to go back and think about it. But did you have a sweat other than that Xavier game that you can remember being like, God? Because I know.
Oh, in the first two rounds,
like the first 2 days out in
Thursday
Vegas,
and Friday.
I don't mind. I mean, it's a little annoying how everyone's coming out and trying to pile on the tournament.
Oh yeah, I mean to me,
but I was thinking from a gambling perspective.
Yeah.
Was there a sweat in there that really got me? I mean, even some of the first to 10, there wasn't. I guess you had a good sweat on Michigan State. There.
Yeah, I had Bryant first to 10, and I had it parlayed with Oregon first to 10. That was like plus 470. And Bryant got to 7 and just missed some threes. Yeah. The first to 10, and look for some new systems coming. That was a great live sweat in Vegas, chasing some dogs there. UCSD on Thursday, I had plus 2.5. That was just painful. But I know what you mean, Ryan. A lot of these were kind of
I think about March Madness, and part of what makes it so great is at some point in the day you've exerted some additional energy in a room with a whole bunch of other people with this, like, I think like the Furman game. I think, end of the UMBC game.
Well, I was on Vandy too, plus 4.5. That was a sweat, obviously, at the end. Was it a foul? Wasn't it?
A lot of people, though, a lot of people have been, coming at this tournament. I mean, let's be honest, it wasn't the greatest tournament, but so far, but that happens. It happened in 2017. Actually, went more chalk in 17 than this year. It happened in one of the 2000s, or like from 01 to 2010. I forget what year. It happened in 94. So it kind of happens like once every 10 years. I think everyone making the connection that it's, the big schools have the NIL. There's no group of 5 school, or there's no power school or mid majors in this field. It's like, well, first off, that happens on like a 1 to 10 year basis. And also you look at Houston and BYU, they're 24 months removed from a mid major level. So they're still alive and doing well. So I don't jump people making the connection. I got into it. Clay Travis saying, it's fucking NIL. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oakland just beat Kentucky, the most prestigious program maybe in the history of the hoops.
Recency bias. And I do think the thing that now I'd be curious to know, I'm sure you found a way to spin this negatively in your head, but the fact that it's just 4 conferences remaining. I mean, good or bad, do you think, for this specific year, because they're like popping the hood on all these things and looking to change stuff?
I actually think it's probably a good thing because Gonzaga didn't deserve to play Houston in the second round. No. They were misseeded. They did a terrible job on the bracket. If not, then Gonzaga would be
but it might keep them off the scent of being like, we need more seeds.
Yeah. So I'll sacrifice that. But I think everyone's overreacting on that. This happens once every 10 years. It happened. And, another thing too, I just want to, while I'm here bitching, that was the travel. The only buzzer beater was a fucking flat out travel. If I hear one more jackass tell me something about a gather step. All right.
Jay, I mean,
my take on it.
Yeah.
I mean, probably a travel, but also, great. You imagine they call that and they're wrong. Like, fuck you. You can't call that.
Yeah. My take. My take is I had Colorado State money line. I would have. I mean, I get it. Probably a travel, but I also, if it's close, I'm fine them putting away the whistle in general. Now, Jay Wright, Colby, did you see Jay Wright's explanation? Because everyone,
I did, and I disagree with it.
Jay Wright, okay,
I do.
I'm telling Jay Wright had this, and it's kind of boring, but he explains. They don't use the word gather. They use the word when the dribble stops. So he cupped the ball on his left side. Now the terminology in college is the next step once you end your dribble, which is a cup on the left side of his body, is your pivot foot. Right there is his pivot foot. The next foot is your plant foot. And then you have to shoot the ball before that pivot foot comes down and touches the ground. So they determine that right here is the stop of the dribble, and then pivot foot, plant foot, and then he released ball. That's Jay Wright, who seems like he knows ball.
I think he's probably right, but
he's just saying what he knows the terminology to be.
Yeah,
To
I'm
me-
just saying.
to-
I
to-
watched a lot of college basketball. They mostly call that a travel in college
Yeah,
basketball.
I would say so.
in that very theater, we were watching the games. I saw like 4 or 5 travels called all throughout the day.
I mean, that's the difference between college and NBA for the most part is they actually call travels.
Well, and don't get me started on these officials. That
Well-
St. John's Arkansas game was one of the most disgusting displays I've ever seen by the officials.
Well, to me though, like why that's ridiculous, and you could look this up. Like they say, it to push back on that, they say if you look this up, they say the first foot to touch after picking up the dribble is the pivot foot, and there is no gather step in considered in college basketball. The thing that just bothers me, whether gather step or not, is like I don't know about you guys. I didn't have Colorado State money line. I went to Maryland basketball camp. I have no problem with Maryland winning the fucking game. It was so blatant to me in real speed. I just thought, good God, he stepped over he's literally the 3-point line.
It did look
and
funny.
went all the way to the
It's
fucking
unnatural.
yeah. And it was just like that is the definition of a travel to me was like if it stands out that bad in game speed, like pulling the dribble up almost by the top of the fucking key and going all the way down to where he's got the shot at.
It's like it was annoying because Colorado State would have been a fun story in the Sweet 16, is a fun, smaller school, does bring some respect to the Mountain West. So unfortunate to not have that storyline. But also, if you're Colorado State, don't make that game that close. Don't give them that shot. Don't give them that drive.
You know where they screwed up, and I think so many teams do this. All right, so you've drawn up the play you want. Obviously, it was that 3-pointer from the elbow. Great shot, bang. I have to imagine coaches just don't want to jinx the play, but how you aren't reminding your team, press them a little bit, make them have to spend some time getting across the center line, because if they had just caused them to run off another second and a half,
well,
they don't get that
weren't
shot.
Weren't they in the bonus though?
What do you mean? Like they don't want to foul?
Yeah, that's what
I'm not saying foul, but they just backed off all the way. Don't back off all the way. Give you a little bit of friction to get across.
No, I'm with you. I just think they're probably paranoid about fouling and putting them to the line when you're up one.
But I want to hammer that home though, and I completely disagree with Kramer's take on the
what
on like you got to call the game of basketball as the game of basketball is. Like we've seen so many times. San Diego State got to the Final Four on a foul call, a questionable foul, with a half a second. Right? We've seen the Villanova charge in the final 10 seconds a few years back that was very questionable. We've seen Chris Webber call a fucking timeout that got a technical foul under fucking 11 seconds.
Well,
right?
that was the team of black guys versus the team of white guys.
My point is though, so why should they not call a travel, but yet in all these other instances call these other kind of questionable things? You call basketball the way it should be. I hate that thing. I saw John Fanta talk about that. You don't call that in the final 30 seconds of a game. Why? Basketball is basketball. You fucking call the rules. You should not be able to just all of a sudden run to the fucking basket without dribbling the ball.
I like them not calling that stuff, Colby, because
you don't want them to be wrong.
Yeah, because if you're telling them, hey, make sure you enforce the letter of the law, you're going to create some horrific bad calls in those last 30 seconds.
Well, they've done that though. So
I know, but it wasn't good.
Yeah, well, no, it was because depending on what side you think, like if San Diego State fouled Creighton, then I'm glad they blew the whistle.
Do you think that was a foul though?
In the San Diego State Creighton one, I think it's questionable. I think it's right there. So I think like
questionable. Shouldn't you let it go?
The Villanova charge thing, I agree with. The Chris Webber not having the amount of timeouts, I fucking agree with. And this travel was so obvious that you just had to call it. You had to call it.
I disagree with you that it was so obvious, but I mean, I agree it was a travel. If they had called it, I wouldn't have gotten mad.
Dude, in real time, it was like, okay, that's a huge
I'm just
travel.
saying, like,
then on replay, it was even worse.
But in the premise of you would rather the officials not make a bad call to decide a game, you'd rather them swallow a whistle. Just general principle, that's how I feel. So because that
I disagree.
No, you don't
Yeah.
disagree. You just disagree with this.
But
You
call.
just have to call the game the way
Right,
the game
but
is.
I
Yeah.
don't trust the refs to get it right. Look at how many bad fouls there were.
So where do you draw the line then? If you just like coming out to, you know what can happen in the final 5
is
seconds
the
of a
line.
game? You can
Yeah.
punch someone in the
No,
face. You're just okay with it?
This is
No,
the,
obviously that's it.
But Colby,
That's not
but
questionable.
Colby, the reasoning that
This-
Chris Webber,
Traveling was not questionable. It was so fucking obvious.
I think this is
Go
literally
yell at Jay Wright.
this is literally the line of where, like probably was a travel, probably was a travel.
I would show that to my son to teach him what basketball is. It was like, this is 1000% traveling out of like, and I don't even care. Like, I don't care about who won the game. I would rather have Maryland win.
John Elway, Tom Brady, all in.
But it's just anyone arguing on this side that it's not a travel. Like, I don't understand what do you like? Why should you ever dribble the basketball ever again?
Based on the replies to what I posted on the old social media, more people told me it was not a travel.
That's the problem. Is the NBA has infected basketball so much
I agree.
that
Yeah,
you now have idiots that think that is basketball, and it's not.
So Cooper Flagg and that dude were on the same high school team, huh?
All right, let's get to the games before we do. Shout out to DraftKings when it comes to college basketball. March Mania. One thing's for sure. Nothing's for sure. We just had a buzzer beater. Shout out to you. If you were on Maryland money line, I'm sure that was a bit of a sweat for you.
No travel. I didn't see a travel.
Well, at the end of the day, you can't let that game be that close. Top seeds going home early. Yeah, of course, we didn't even really talk that much about St. John's getting sent home by old John Calamari. Woo Pig Suey. That was a super fun upset and a live dog or live pig, if you will. Hopefully you checked out our show and got some of those locks. I was 3-0 on my locks. Pretty awesome. 12-4 ATS on all my locks so far in the tourney. But again, hop over on DraftKings. Live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays. DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. First time, here's something special for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. I was just on DraftKings. You know, you can get BYU and or Arkansas, both 80-1 to win it all. If you're looking to use your bonus bets, that's probably what I would do with some sweet bonus bets from DraftKings. Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SGP. That's code SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/AUDIO.
Sean,
Yes.
anything else you'd like to say about the first rounds, second rounds, Vegas, before we look forward to the Sweet 16?
No, I mean, it was pretty funny to see UConn get knocked out, but they kept their spread streak alive. I think it's now 13 games. 14 games.
Yep, 13
ATS.
wins and one time as a dog.
Crazy.
I think that was the worst part about it. Was, you know, UConn and Colorado State were the two teams that probably deserved to win the most on a lot of those games. I mean, Duke, yeah, sure. I mean, but UConn outplayed Florida that whole fucking game. Look, I don't like Danny Hurley, but he coaches.
I had Florida in the Survivor, and I was very fortunate to move on and advance. Colby, are you still alive in our Survivor?
I am still alive.
How many entries you got?
I just do one. You know me. You know,
winner take all. I like it. One bullet.
Just dominate.
How many I have?
Kramer, I know you had 4 entries. How are you looking in the Survivor?
I'm still 4-0 theoretical, but 0. I don't want to say anything bad about situation. Full accountability.
Full accountability. Ryan didn't get his picks in. Maybe we'll talk a little Survivor tomorrow because I know the teams I like, but then I got to look at the bracket and do the math. The bet detective was hard at work in the office, Colby. It reminded me of
we were doing some beautiful mind shit.
Goodwill Hunting. We need like a chalkboard to get CJ. CJ printed out another bracket, filled it out with the correct ones. He was also very happy to have his bracket cooked. I mean,
He hates his bracket.
we went over to the Westgate to
It's
watch
abusive.
the games. It was halfway through that first Louisville game on Thursday, and he's like, "Oh, my bracket's done. Perfect. The perfect bracket is a bracket you're done checking." he was loving it. It was great. Kramer, game wise, what are we doing?
Well, we're talking about the Sweet 16. We got games in Newark, New Jersey, and San Francisco, California. First up, 4:09 p.m. on the West Coast. We're heading out to, I believe this is at the Prudential. Do they still call it the Rock, Colby? BYU, the 6 seed, taking on Alabama, the 2 seed. Bama laying 4.5 minus 200 on the money line. BYU plus 164, 175.5 is the total. That's a pretty big total there.
Yeah,
They're basically saying BYU plus Alabama equal some serious fireworks. It's very difficult to pick against Alabama if you project there to be fireworks. It just seems like that's their game. They're gonna. I mean, they kind of drag St. Mary's onto the land. Like St. Mary's is trying to get them into the deep water. Alabama brought them up on land and fucking drowned their ass with air.
I think the big thing was the lack of athleticism in hindsight. I think
it always is with that fucking team, Cole.
Yeah, and that was my fault, because it's against Vandy, it even showed its card, and they somehow survived that. And then I went back to the well, and gosh, Alabama made them pay.
Commander.
But
That's
here's the thing:
be careful believing in Staples.
St. Mary's not athletic. That's the command.
But here's the thing about that to me was the fact that BYU, ever since they made that lineup change and went big, has been awesome. So like they have the bigs that I think could actually kind of be a factor in this game against Alabama here. So I think I like BYU in this spot just because BYU seems to be on a roll. I'm kind of fascinated by this game because they both play. I mean, Alabama plays at the top pace. BYU doesn't play at like a super fast pace. They're kind of middle of the pack, but Kevin Young's an NBA guy. So I just feel like the style of ball is similar. They're going to shoot a lot of threes. I think BYU and specifically this game, not necessarily all year. And I'm fascinated by watching the bigs and see if they can hold up against Alabama's bigs because, Alabama all year has been such a great rebounding team. BYU's not as, great, but I think the numbers are a little jaded. I think, what are they, 85th in rebounding? BYU, though, they switched to that lineup in January. So, and that's kind of when they went on their run. So I actually think the numbers are probably better than 85th when it comes to rebounding. But I'm going to take the points. I think it's a game.
Those are the two elements. I think the BYU is going to give them the biggest test on the glass. Also, Alabama plays a lot of guys. Alabama has played two teams that does not play a deeper team. And that may have had some effect. BYU plays more like they have a higher.
They got a very deep roster.
Well, so interesting to see Alabama now go against a team that is equipped to deal with it and plays just as many players as them and should be able to run with them. And also to Colby's point, like in a way they could attack the teeth of that Alabama squad on the inside. So you just got to deal with the free throws, which, Alabama makes it a little easier because they're not great at it either. But this is going to be a maddening game. I will say this is going to be one of those games. Like if it's around the number, it's going to be really annoying to watch.
I love this BYU team. And I guess technically it was a sweat because they only beat Wisconsin by 2. And the number was like +1.5, +1. But I just feel as a gambler, I feel so good when I'm betting on BYU. Like even when they were down, I'm like, this team figures it out. They do a great job of coming back. I think even if Alabama, and I'm sure Alabama will go on a 8-0 run or something like that, and there will be moments where BYU has to dig themselves out of the hole, but they do it every damn time. You look at their advanced stuff. I mean, Alabama hasn't played a lot of teams with a higher effective field goal percentage than them. So I think they're going to kind of be in for a rude awakening for how well this BYU team shoots the ball, rebounds, and they just have it. They have a mojo. They have an energy. We keep coming back to that game that Conor McGregor was at. They've been on a crazy run, and we talked. He was promoting Bucked Up energy drink, and shout out to Bucked Up. They sent us some energy drinks. Definitely going to be consuming some of these, watching BYU for ultimate mojo. And yeah, maybe I'm a little biased, sweating out my whatever it is, 15-1, 14-1 BYU to make the Final Four. That ticket sweat probably jading me here, but I've seen nothing in like the past 2 months to get me off this BYU team. And I think, looking back at them getting whacked by Houston there in the Big 12 Conference Tournament, that totally made sense. And I think that ended up being a great wake-up call for them. They put it on VCU. They beat Wisconsin handily. And then other than that, look at like the teams they beat. They won at Iowa State. Like they've had a pretty good resume here. They won at Arizona. Like they've done well stepping up in competition. I think they're going to be able to handle Alabama. And we keep talking about, moments where maybe this Alabama pace, the style of offense, the way they play basketball could hit the wall. And I think it's BYU. I think BYU can play the type of game that can mess them up. So, I like BYU a lot here. I think they're live. Obviously, I'm going to be taking the +4.5 as well. So, yeah, let's go Cougs.
I'm fascinated to see who they line up like, at certain points in the game. Obviously, the bigs, Keita and Mawat Mag coming from Rutgers. It's going to be very interesting to see where they align Mag because he's a fucking lockdown defender. BYU, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I get it. They traditionally have all these whites, and they do. They got some African dudes that are fucking athletic as fuck. So I think this is a game. Give me BYU on the points. I think the money line's live.
Not too far from the stadium in 2013, the Mormons built a 35,000 square foot church, massive.
Oh, remember we did all that
facility.
research on that?
Jersey's not actually one of the top states by population, but there is a concentration of 35,000. And do you know where the original headquarters of the Church of Latter-day Saints was in New Jersey?
No.
That's right. Newark, New Jersey.
You had that memorized, didn't you? Growing up there, right?
I will say this. My memory, like if I tried to reflect only on my childhood understanding of what Mormons was, I had zero awareness to that anyone felt that they could be like not a normal religion. We had a ton of Mormons in my town, and I knew the Mormons as the people who had the baddest church, like awesome basketball court, fucking pool, just like all this cool shit. They had this arcade, like it was just a nice fucking facility. Clearly they had money. And so, I think that, BYU will have support in this building. And I also would say this, NATO still just that team does. So it's not quite Arkansas in terms of doing dumb shit, but at some point, if a team can deal with them athletically and they can shoot more efficiently, they're going to get the job done. I think we got a BYU future too. So there's 0% chance I want to hedge that. Let's head out to the left coast. We're hitting the Chase Center, beautiful San Francisco, California, 4:39 p.m. on the West Coast. 4 seed Maryland, 1 seed Florida. I want to think that was the test Florida is going to get. They're such a dominant team. This Maryland team, we're just dying for an opportunity to fade their coach. They tried their best to lose that game to Colorado State, a team that they were so there were elements
neither of these teams played great.
No,
right?
but Maryland's athleticism, like just pure like base level of athlete compared. Colorado State is the ultimate mid-major. Great team.
Yeah.
A lot of dudes who were playing at Colorado State because they didn't quite have that top level like twitchiness or whatever. Maryland
they were
had
up the whole game though, man.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And Maryland got fortunate to beat them. You always got to, either one of two things. Either the fortunate team is dangerous or they turn back into a pumpkin, which I think, Colby, we've been tiptoeing the line of when do we fade Kevin? And I think it's this round against Florida. I think Florida blows them out.
Look,
Colby, what are you doing?
I want Maryland to be good. I went to Gary Williams basketball camp. I'll have this drink at
Kramer,
You don't mean that.
Kramer,
Look
bleep
at
that
that. Look
out.
at that right
We
there.
can't be giving free plugs for basketball.
Look at that. Look at that.
You don't mean that.
You see that? You see that?
I mean, that
Lefty
looks like-
Lefty Drizel here. Right? I got the cup.
We're dingling into a plastic cup.
All right.
Colby's already just full East
Let's
Coast
go.
now.
Let's go. Now, the problem is this. Lefty Drizel could coach his ass off. Gary Williams could coach his ass off. Kevin Willard cannot.
No.
Trust me, I would love to see the SEC lose. But Florida's going to fuck them up. I'm laying the number.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Lefty Drizel. Let's go.
I don't know where does the advantage lie? If Maryland is able to win this game, what have they done? Gotten the Florida Bigs into foul trouble or something?
Hold on. Say that again. I'm sorry.
If Maryland wins, what happened? Like what happened in the game?
My thing would be this. Honestly, for Maryland to win is Todd Golden could be Kevin Willard.
Oh no!
Like when you think about his only win is Norfolk State. Before the UConn game, they had no business beating UConn. If Walter Clayton Jr. doesn't make some of those crazy fucking shots that only but he's
not going against Dan Hurley now.
I know, but I'm just saying one of the things that stood out to me was his lack of adjustments. Right? I was just like, gosh, this guy's but
also too, but Hurley deserves a bunch of respect.
Yes.
Even though
Hurley's incredible. He proved it.
But yeah, and I think that's the coaching and the UConn adjustments, and UConn just so much tournament experience. That's what kept them around.
Well, I'm just saying the past couple years though, Florida lost to Colorado last season in the first round.
They can blow a game.
That's what I'm saying. It made me hesitate a little bit on I think this Florida team is national championship good, but I was surprised at the lack of coaching in that game, right? And that concerns me moving forward. I just don't think it's here because Maryland's got some athletes that I think can really challenge them, but their rotation's short. I think that will play a role. But I think in general, Florida. Look, what happened in 2000? I think it was the Mike Miller year. You remember they hit that buzzer beater against Butler, and that basically was that wake up call. They almost lost in the first round. They went all the way to the championship game, take on Michigan State. I feel like that UConn thing, if Todd Golden uses it correctly, can be a great thing for this Florida team. I'm going to lay the number with the Gators.
Well, it reminds me of the Eagles when they were facing off against the Rams there, and they almost blew that game at home. They let them come back way too close, and then they just went on a run right after that.
It's the 2025 league year now, Sean. We've moved.
It's officially the league year.
Yeah,
it's still current reigning Super Bowl champs, Philadelphia Eagles.
Last year.
I'm with you. Florida is a very good team. I think that was a good matchup for UConn. In hindsight, should have been on them. They continue to just be a beast ATS, but I don't. This feels like letdown city for Maryland.
Like Colorado State would get their shit pushed in by Florida, like that.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit doing the transitive property thing, but it just seems like unless they're able to get the bigs of Florida into foul trouble, I don't see how Maryland wins.
Yeah, I'm with you. Florida rolls. Colby. Let's get back on a little Underdog fantasy heater. Of course, use that promo code SGPN. Get some bonus credits up to $1,000 when you head to Underdog Fantasy and use the promo code SGPN. Colby, what do we like in the old pick'em, aka higher, lower? What do you got? What's jumping at you?
Are we allowed to tout
about what?
Well, the last two that I faded for you losers have come in.
Well, before that, the two that you faded didn't hit.
Also, I didn't get a chance to tout. I just, we were in Vegas, a lot going on, but I also hit my opening day baseball.
Oh, you did?
With my 50% boost. So I am on a heater right now.
Shout out to Justin Steele, friend of the program. Did get the strikeouts home.
Yep.
Nice job there, right?
Yeah.
The first one that jumps out to me is Caleb Love has a history of fucking up Duke. I will take the higher than 17.5 points with Caleb Love.
No.
They might not win the game, but he'll get his. I don't care. Sometimes he'll shoot like 10%, but he'll get his. I like the higher than 17.5 with him. And then I think Mark Sears is a guy that, regardless of if Alabama wins or loses, is going to get his. I'd be more concerned about, Grant Nelson or something, but I think Sears higher than 20.5 points will come in as well against BYU's guard.
The
So
softer side of Sears, Mark Sears, and Caleb Love. You take the higher and Caleb Love, 17.5 points, and Mark Sears higher, 20.5 points. Put them together, and you return $100, returns you $300. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN if you're looking for some free bonus credits there.
I'm on the double under.
Okay.
Double lower.
Double lower. Oh, bleep that out.
Yeah.
And of course, shout out to Edge Boost. Love me some Edge Boost, and shout out to everyone in the Edge Boost bracket. I will give an update maybe after Sweet 16, see where everyone is. But again, if your bracket didn't hit, hey, it doesn't matter. You know what always hits? Free money from Edge Boost. That's right. The Edge Boost rewards. You can earn up to $750 per month in cash back rewards just by using your Edge Boost card. Don't worry about getting denied, shut out, whatever it is. I only take my long shot bets, the DGen only stuff. I only use my Edge Boost card for those because it's free rewards. Hey, is it crazy to take Arkansas 80-1 to win the national championship? Maybe if it's your own money, but if it's Edge Boost rewards, then go ahead, cut loose. Again, best part is the card is free, no credit checks. Again, free, nothing. It does us a solid, and do yourself a solid. EdgeBoost.bet, promo code SGPN. EdgeBoost.bet, promo code SGPN.
Sean,
yes.
I have the standings right here.
Oh, great. What do we got?
Shout out to Jeremy Kuntz, 55 points.
Yeah, I'm friends with his cousin, Rusty.
Okay, standalone in first place.
Rusty Kuntz.
He's that's a good one.
He's met him before.
Yeah, I was fully buying that one. Hook, line, and sinker. He's got Houston winning it all.
Oh, okay.
Michael Lewis tied in second place with the Gators as his national champ with the DGen Doc himself.
Oh, Sebastian.
Crushing it. I saw he posted something. He's not in a legal state, and he's like, his bracket was like 30 of 32. It's like, oh my God, that's nightmares. And then tied it for fourth, Chase O'Brien with Houston and Alex Gallen with Florida. So the Dukies don't show up until sixth place. And someone actually, Patrick Lockwood in sixth place, has Maryland as his national champion.
Cody in the chat saying Michigan 70-1 isn't crazy though.
Oh, I can't do it.
If Michigan wins, that'll be disappointing.
All right, let's head over to the next game at Newark after the Bama BYU game. So it's not going to be a lot of alcohol sales in the building until the Arizona fans show up for the nightcap here. 4-seed Arizona, 6:39. Although they're always wrong with this, so let's guess 7 p.m. Arizona the 4-seed, Duke the 1-seed. Duke laying 8.5, -410 on the money line. Arizona plus 315. 153.5 is the total. That strikes me as being a little low, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, I don't know. Duke's another team. They just look like they're better. They look like they look like their B team could have been dropped into just about any conference in the country. Could their B team have won the ACC? I mean, I feel like this team is deep. This team has a guy who's allegedly the number 1 pick in the draft. And I think we have to, like, the drastic difference at this point between what North Carolina's gotten with their replacement of a legend compared to what John Shire is providing for Duke. It's like, all right, we can't make fun of John Shire anymore. I mean, I know he hasn't won anything serious, but this team's not to be fucked with.
Well, also too, and the counter is like, oh, Duke, who have they played? And that being
they played a lot of teams this year.
Well, I would say if you looked at their entire, I mean, they played Arizona earlier at Arizona, beat them by 14. I get it, and Caleb Love is playing really well, but
beat Auburn.
Yeah, they've smashed a ton of like, and they're 20. I'll double check it, but I think they're 24-12 ATS, which is crazy, and it's kind of happening in the NBA as well, where like the best team is also that good against the spread. Normally the market catches up to them, and it gets you start getting some crazy numbers just because the book needs action on teams playing Duke, and they're looking to create some opportunities. I don't see it here. Arizona, I don't think looked particularly good against Oregon. Now, again, I was biased probably with my Oregon money line and had them in the Final Four as a fun long shot. But this Duke team is just a machine. Kramer, I said to you, I forget, whenever we were hanging out in Vegas, I turned to you and go, I'm not betting against Duke anymore. I'm not doing it unless they play Michigan State in the championship.
No,
then
that's not what you said.
What I said?
You said until they play BYU.
Oh, yeah, and BYU. It's going to be all of BYU's got their number. Look out. But Duke's going to roll here. Colby, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I got cute and took Baylor the other day. Now they got him into foul trouble, but I mean, Duke looks fucking amazing right now. And I still am waiting for their youth to be a problem. But I can tell you this: Arizona did everything they could to lose that game the other day.
Yep.
They somehow won. I don't like Tommy Lloyd and March. The team just looked unorganized. They had a 3-on-1. They end up with no points on it. Both players go up for the alley-oop. They miss it. Oregon hits a 3 to all of a sudden make it a 2-point. Like they just they play stupid to me. And so I'm not buying in here. Sorry, David Matola. I'm laying it with Duke. They're in fuck you mode.
Yeah, David Matola is the guy who's checked in at the Yuma, Arizona Applebee's getting hammered listening to the show.
Is he related to Tommy? We got to ask him. Yeah, I mean, this is just, it's a bad matchup for Arizona. Just like Arizona was a bad matchup for my Zips, Duke's a bad matchup for Arizona. And perhaps they're going to be on a little bit of a roll here with the covering. They're just zero friction. Give me Duke. And for whatever reason, it doesn't feel as disgusting to take Duke with Coach K off the sideline. I'll be honest. It's a little less weird. It's like before it was almost repulsive.
It did feel it was like betting on the Cowboys. And I guess it is to some degree a little gross, but you're right, Kramer. Like getting Coach K out of there, it feels
it's different.
A little more framed, but it still doesn't feel awesome betting on Duke.
John Shire seems like a decent dude too, unlike Coach K. 10 seed Arkansas, 3 seed Texas Tech playing after Maryland and Florida take to the court. Texas Tech laying 5.5 here. The spread intrigued me a little bit. Minus 260 on the money line. Arkansas plus 210. 147.5 is the total. I think at this point we have to give Arkansas a little bit more respect here.
Oh, woo pig suey.
Well, on this number, the number feels a little light. I'll be honest. I mean, a little heavy. I thought this was going to be like a 2.5 point game. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not seeing it with Texas Tech yet. And maybe I'm just got to take the winning Italian in the Sweet 16. Colby.
No, I'm all over Texas Tech, man.
Are you?
I think it's a horrible matchup for Arkansas. They just beat Pitino and had their big time moment. And I think Texas Tech and Grant McCaslin, don't forget, Baylor has not been the same since he left there. He went to North Texas, did great things there. They had an elite defense. Texas Tech now elite defense. He will go zone. Pitino didn't go zone. You guys don't realize Arkansas was 2 for 23 from 3, and Pitino didn't go zone. Mind numbing, right? Texas Tech will do that, and Texas Tech to me has got enough scorers on their own. Like you look at what Arkansas was able to do. St. John's can't shoot. Texas Tech can shoot, and Texas Tech's got shot creators.
Yeah.
So whether it's Toppin, I know McMillan might not play. He's a game time decision, but Williams, who went off the other game, there's a reason why this team, went into Houston and beat Houston. Texas Tech's legit, and I think it's been a fun story for Calipari. Great first year to get things rolling, but I'm all over the Red Raiders here.
Well, now Colby, would you say is it crazy to say this Arkansas team is similar to Texas A&M in their strengths of
Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Texas Tech?
Arkansas close to Texas A&M as far as styles. Not great offense, rebounding.
Better offense.
They have more shot creators. Arkansas can beat you off the dribble. Texas A&M's kind of like a rock fight type team.
Texas Tech lost to Texas A&M on a neutral. If you're looking for similar teams, I guess to me it's like, can Can this Texas Tech offense? And I don't know. I'm trying to think of situations.
How do they
where
win? How does Arkansas win?
They slow the game down. Well, I don't know. I don't know about winning, but look at the game against Alabama would be how they would win. Like where their offense is kind of clicking and they can do enough to slow down Texas Tech's offense that they make it a game. They lost to Alabama 85-81 at home. I think that's maybe.
They should have lost to Kansas, and Kansas went to that zone and they couldn't hit anything. I think there's a clear blueprint on how to beat Arkansas. That's why I was shocked Patino got very outcoached by Calipari, not only from that point of view, but also Calipari dialed up a couple great plays out of timeouts that I thought were really big in dry spells for Arkansas that got the momentum back.
They beat Kansas by 7. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but dude,
I don't know if you could say they should have lost to Kansas.
I'm just saying there's a clear blueprint on how to beat Arkansas. They can't shoot.
Yeah.
And to me, like against Texas has the style of defense that Texas Tech plays at. I mean, they're the 7th rated offense as well. So like they have shot creators and they play great defense. I don't think, and I think they will go zone. I think they'll go zone a lot of the game. I think that will be a problem because you can't go off the dribble, and all of Arkansas's players go off the dribble for points.
They still owe Leach money.
Yeah, fuck
Probably.
them. Blue pig suing.
Yeah, let's go,
Let's
Arkansas.
go.
Send the Italian guy to collect.
Anytime I've been on the fence and I went against my gut, it's cost me this tournament. So, I mean, obviously still doing great. 12-4 ATS on my locks. Number 1 in the VSiN contest. If you're following along, VSiN.com/contest. Hit the VSiN selections. 20-9.
Here's how we get the win, Sean.
Yeah.
There's a lot of break stuff, a lot of athlete stuff, and they get Texas Tech into foul trouble.
And you need McMillan not to play. It's a game time decision.
That also.
Yeah.
But I think Arkansas, much like the game against St. John's, they converted their free throws. There was a lot of foul calls.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw
I totally get the case against it. And I think Colby brought up a bunch of good points as far as Texas Tech being able to coach them up and, whether it's playing the zone or whatever, forcing them to beat them with some shots.
Well, I mean, St. John's was the perfect team. I mean, we all took Arkansas.
It's a perfect
we all took Arkansas.
Kramer was on St.
John's. Oh, well, me and you took Arkansas because they matched up their height. St. John's can't score. They can't shoot. Right. I mean, their way of scoring is like just off of rebound. And you're just sitting there like, okay, well, I don't know if that's going to work against Arkansas's height and athleticism. And it didn't. Texas Tech has legit, like I said, they're not like, I have a fly in my face.
Country, get me out of this country. What is the announcer?
Yeah, hold on. Hold on. I got you right here. But here's me right now trying to say what I want to say.
I'm dying in this fucking country ass fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. That fuck. I can't see pollen. And let's get the fuck out of this country, mother.
But my difference is this: St. John's. It's the reason why we made fun of their. The analytics hated St. John's all year. To their point, even though I hate the analytics, like to their point is they could not shoot. Texas Tech is the 7th rated offense in the country. They also are great at offensive rebounding, top 100 team offensive rebounding, 38th best in the country in free throw shooting, 36th best in 3-point percentage. They're gonna be able to get this done. See you on the gridiron, fellas.
Wow. Well done, Colby. Yeah, I think Florida, Arkansas would be a pretty fun Elite 8 game, right?
Oh, that would be awesome.
All right, Sean, you're the arbiter of Sweet 16 locks. Since
we'll go 2 locks per episode.
2 locks per episode.
Yep. Kramer, you're on the clock. What do you got?
Well, I think I'm just going to do a Florida Duke lock with a BYU dog.
Okay. Florida laying the 6.5. Duke laying the 8.5. BYU on the money line.
Tell me this. Why would I not unload a max bet on Florida Duke money line?
Because I mean, the only reason is because we haven't seen any upsets, and Jay Billis's bracket's still perfect with his
Wow.
Final Four. Congrats, Jay.
By the way, he's going after these coaches and their unlimited transfer portal. He's like Colby. Anytime a coach gets hired, he quote tweets it and just goes after him. You got to appreciate that a little bit, Colby.
Yeah, I mean, look, what do you mean? Bill is a friend of the program. I disagree with his court storming tactics and NBA bullshit he's sprinkling in here, but I feel like he actually calls a decent game, with the exception of that gibberish, that pollution he puts out occasionally.
All right, so my locks: Duke laying the 8.5, BYU catching the 4.5. For my dog, I want to do Arkansas. I'll do BYU, baby. Mormon, soak on. Let's go.
Minus 129. Duke, Florida money line.
You love a good chalk, Ryan.
I'll have to really consider that.
Colby, what are you doing?
The locks are Florida against Maryland and Texas Tech against Arkansas.
Ooh.
And the dog is BYU.
Oh no, we're all on BYU. Colby laying some chalk here. Florida minus 6.5. Texas Tech minus 5.5. Get on BYU on the money line. All right, and obviously we're gonna do an episode tomorrow night breaking down Friday's game. Should be a fun slate there. Shout out to Bucked Up Energy Drink. Appreciate the free drinks. Always, if you own a beverage company, send some stuff in. We're always happy to plug you. Check out Colby Dant, the college experience. Get down on all that sweet gear. Colby rocking the sweet TC camo hat. I got a camo. The camo hats are fire. I highly recommend.
You guys didn't talk about Duke Dean money line.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, did you catch our Friday show? Did you catch our Friday show from VEASAN? But if you want we got the all those tournaments going on right now. NIT, CBI, and the Crown happening.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll be covering the Crown as well on our show because it's the new tournament that Circus sponsored. So that's going to be awesome, and we'll be back out at VEASAN there Friday night. I saw someone in the chat was asking about. So if you're coming out for Sweet 16, come by and say hi. 8 to 11 West Coast.
I think we tack to the Thursday night Elite 8 episode. I think we tack on Crown picks.
Yeah, I'm down.
Because it starts on Monday, Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. So Thursday night, we will be breaking down the first couple games.
We'll do the Saturday
from the Elite 8. And then we'll probably have to do the Sunday games Friday on the VEASAN show. But good times. Appreciate everyone checking in. And again, big thanks to Rhythm for hooking up the party and the sponsorship of the futures. Awesome there. And of course, as always,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Florida Duke money line. Roll.
Kramer, let it ride.